So, you're willing to spend $100 on a t-shirt. For a lot of guys, they go through this sort of journey from where they want to get whatever they can for as little money as they can to a point where they want as high a quality an item of clothing as they can get or as they can afford, right? So for a lot of guys, they'll go from getting sneakers to higher quality boots. And then eventually you may find yourself at a point where you want to get a t-shirt, your basic t-shirt, but as high quality as you can get. And you start to wonder when you see these t-shirts out there from certain brands, why do they actually cost $100? What makes it worth that amount of money? And is this a sort of leap that you want to take if you're looking for higher quality items in your wardrobe? Or should you just stick to more expensive boots and jeans and leave t-shirts where they are? To answer this question, I am here with David at Son of a Stag in the United Kingdom, which is the UK's biggest heritage fashion store. How's it going?
Going good. Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. Doing good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm good. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot myself because I actually, as much as I'm into heavy denim and as much as I'm into nice boots and nice jackets, I haven't actually yet made that leap into the higher quality t-shirts out there. You've been nice enough to let me wear one right now.
It looks very nice.
I might have normally worn a bigger one, but this is as big as I've got. But this is an example of a slubby Loopwheel t-shirt. And these are two factors that we're going to explore a little bit as a means of trying to explain why there are certain t-shirts that cost extra money and if they're worth it. David, what's a Loopwheel shirt?
Well, Loopwheel is basically the way that the fabric is constructed. It's a more traditional method. Most companies don't do it now because it's so time consuming. Mm-hmm. Basically, the method is they're tubes, they're tubular knitting machines which hang from the ceiling of factories. And
tubular knitting machines.
Yeah, so they're like, they're tubes which...
I'll find some footage of it, I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Filler in here.
Yeah.
And they knit in a circular motion.
Okay.
So basically the integrity of the fabric is protected at all points. There's no side seams. And it means essentially that when you're washing the garments...
it's like one big piece of clothing.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get that shrinkage. You're not going to get as much movement in the garment as you would with sort of modern, real fabric production. With Loopwheel, every loop has a particular size. So if you're wearing a 40, there would be that size wheel for that size.
Right. Okay. And then you
it's knit
put it
in a tube.
Now I understand.
You
Okay.
pop the arms on.
It's like 3D printing a shirt.
Yeah.
But better.
But better, yeah, exactly.
So Loopwheel t-shirts, they hold their shape better throughout time.
Much better.
Do
they have a much more a bouncy feel to them. The integrity of the fabric is just much more durable, basically. They just don't lose their shape, which is why people go for them.
And that's why people throw out their old t-shirts when they get all stretched out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right. So it's not just something like, you're not paying for just like a brand name, you're actually paying for something that is going to function better as a t-shirt over time.
Yeah,
and you could make the argument that it'll save you money in the long run because you're not going to be throwing out t-shirts as much.
That's the way, it's the investment of buying Loopwheel, basically. Is they last longer and they fit you better for longer.
Do they conform to the shape of your body? Is that a thing? Because people talk a lot about paying extra for selvage jeans because it forms to you a bit more readily than like more bargain basement stuff. Is that a thing with Loopwheel shirts, or is it the opposite? They'll hold the shape that you have in the store when you put them on.
That's kind of like a payoff between the type of cotton that's being used and the density of the weave. So like, for example, the one that you're wearing now is a warehouse option. It's our Ringgit tee. It's very slubby, so it has like quite a lot of individual character. Because it's quite a loose weave, that'll move more to the way that you move, but still maintain its shape, if you know what I mean. It'll move to your shoulder shape.
Right, because it's a loose weave. That means it can stretch a little bit in areas where it's getting tension, but but it's not gonna like change and ebb and flow based on like when you've washed it or,
exactly.
You're not
gonna wear it tomorrow and find that it's way too big.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You mentioned slub, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. I find that a lot of the more expensive t-shirts out there, they're advertised as being slubby.
Yeah.
So what is slub for the people at home? I know, of course.
yeah, me too.
No, what is slub?
Well, everyone thinks of slubbiness in their denims. You know, like if you have oni, it's a very uneven weave. So basically, the fabrics are crossing over each other at an even level. So
do you mean that the thickness varies throughout, or
thickness and tension?
Okay.
And that creates an they call it perfectly imperfect. So it's basically makes the fabric feel more heritage and gives it that individual character. Just in the same way that, you know, you have your jeans. If you put a fresh pair of Onis on, you can probably tell that they're going to wear out, like, or fade in certain areas quicker, depending on like where the heavy slub is.
Okay.
You know? And it's the same thing with t-shirts.
So you can see on this, we'll get some close-up shots in a bit, but it looks a bit like it's streaked.
Yeah.
Because the weave varies in thickness throughout.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a benefit to that, or is it just aesthetic?
It's aesthetic.
Okay. And it's also a signifier that the machine that was used to make it is like older and takes more skill to make and all that other kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, it's more of like a handmade approach.
Okay. So you could say, when discussing expensive t-shirts, slub, that's largely an aesthetic thing, which is cool in that it means that it's made in an old-fashioned way and so on. But as far as like practicality, some people might not be convinced that there are sufficient practical benefits to that to warrant the higher price. Whereas if you're looking at Loopwheel shirts, not all of which are slubby, the Loopwheel stuff does indeed signify that it's going to hold its shape for longer.
Yeah.
And it's going to conform to the shape of your body better as well. And so it's going to be more durable and it's going to last for longer.
Exactly.
All right, okay. So Loopwheel, worth it. Slubbiness depends on your own predispositions.
Personal preference.
Cool. All right.
We try and stock as much Loopwheel as we possibly can, just because that's what we favour here. We want our customers to be happy with their products for 5 years after they've bought them.
Yeah. Here's a good question. What are some brands that make good Loopwheel shirts if people are into it?
It's interesting that you should ask that question, because I've got an example right here. A lot of Japanese companies produce good Loopwheel, but Mersby Schwanen is one of the companies in Europe. In fact, it's the only company in Europe that produces Loopwheel fabrics, and we've been dealing with them for quite a long time now, just because the quality is incredible.
Yeah. So this is a Hanley and no side seams, right?
No side seams.
All right. So there's Mersby Schwanen.
Yeah.
Mersby Schwanen. I'm wearing Warehouse.
Yep.
And what are some other ones?
Full Count do a great Loopwheel sweatshirt. What else have we got? We've got Freewheelers gear that's Loopwheel as well. The Buzzricks and stuff is Loopwheel.
All right. David is restricted in being only able to talk about brands that are in this store, but I'll talk about some on the side of the screen that you can also get elsewhere. But that's not official recommendations.
Don't listen to it.
Okay, no, that was really cool. I learned a lot there, actually. I've always been wondering about Loopwheel shirts, and yeah, I might make the leap. I might keep an eye for it.
Cool.
Cool. That's it. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below if you've got any favorite Loopwheel shirts or if you're considering buying one. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And yeah, check out Son of a Stag, UK's biggest heritage store. There's a link to them in the description below. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, mate.